I'm Jeff Hunt. He's Bill Thorpe, and we're back, baby.
We missed you. I'm being real. Sometimes I had to go yell at the mirror for a while. Just to make me feel
Who am I going to debate today?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my kids are happy to get me back.
Debating Mickey characters. We went to Disney World. I've never been to Disney World.
Oh, yeah. I've been there twice.
And my wife grew up in Southern California, so she's a Disneyland girl.
Yeah.
And I can say I'm a Disneyland guy.
I am too.
I like the OG more than the world.
I do too. I like how Disneyland is set out. I think Epcot is a vast waste of space and time, and we should that doesn't make any sense. Epcot's
we didn't get over there. We spent one day there.
Don't go.
But one thing I noticed is there's no Star Wars in Disney World, which I appreciate because Star Wars people are nerds.
No, it's wonderful. In fact, I love the fact this is how great this show is because it's 7:01 in the morning and we get into the Star Wars thing. This is the crazy thing. So Jeff went out to Disney World. I stayed closer to the homestead, running around with the kids. But the video game that a couple of the kids and I have been playing for nigh on a decade. It literally is 10 years plus that we've been playing this game together. A little bit into November, they dropped a Lucasfilm collaboration. And so it's Star Wars. And so they brought Star Wars themed stuff into my video game. And
Disney should have never bought Star Wars.
This is
Star
awesome.
Wars.
You have to understand that. So this is a game I've been playing for 10 years. They gave me a lightsaber. I was the happiest little kid.
Star Wars is for dorks.
It was great. I'm a proud dork. I am a complete dork. Absolutely. I will own that.
Have you been to Disneyland all the way back there? The whole Star Wars world they built back there?
Not since they've done the Star Wars world. I have not been there since then.
You can go hang out there. Leave the rest of the rides to the normal
I've heard
people.
everything else is.
You can just go hang out back there.
Yeah. I've heard it's amazing. I was there. They were just starting it. They had part of it open last time I was there. And so I have not seen the entire plan come to fruition.
They tucked them back where they belong.
That's because they don't bring them all in this one area. It's again, it's fantastic. It's so the number of times that because we're still in this weird clock in the morning that I would wake up way too early and nobody else in the house was awake. And it's literally like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm awake and I'm like, I'm going to go play my Star Wars game. And so I'll go sit on the couch.
Of course.
Yeah, it's like 5 in the morning, and I'm doing that. Again, it's not in the Star Wars universe, but it is Star Wars themed, and they worked with Lucasfilm with this one. And the problem is, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. Nobody else in America is a nerd like I am and is awake. So I'm playing with people in China and South Korea and Japan. So I have all these, I don't even have names up on the people that are on my fire team. No, I've got all these weird characters, and I begin to recognize which language it is. I can recognize the Japanese language, the Chinese language, the Korean language. So I know when I'm dropping with different people, and I'm like, okay, this is fun. Yeah, that's who I was playing with.
You are unique unto yourself. I will tell you, we did ride this ride, which is new, and it's amazing. It's a must ride, the Tron ride at Disney World.
I heard that's fantastic.
You're in a motorcycle setting, like
the light cycle,
and it comes down on your back, to hold you there, and then it shoots you around.
Oh yeah, I've heard the light cycle is fantastic, and that's a dream that you've had since you were a kid. That was the most popular part of the Tron video game was when you got to the light cycle. So that's like the go-to thing. That and a little, Deadly Frisbee game. Those are two things out of Tron. I'm a Tron fan. I love Tron.
Yeah,
Tron's good. The third one, the third one's awful. The first two, decent enough. First one's great, but second one's good. Third one's awful.
Well, Billy and I are not only going to debate Star Wars and Tron, but what was like a Star Wars raid, Trump and Delta Force taking out a bunch of Cuban security dudes, grabbing Maduro and leaving with the vice president in control. What is happening there? New York Times reporting that Venezuela's new leader appearing to soften her tone towards the United States Sunday night with the latest on all of this and more. Plus, we want to hear from you. What do you think Trump did? Do you applaud him for it? We got the oil. It's ours, baby. We're going to make it rain with all that money coming in, no longer heading out to China and Russia. Nope, that money belongs to the Venezuelan people and to the Americans. Is it a much better use of those resources, or is this going to be an Iraqi boondoggle with troops on the ground? Give us a call. Join the conversation, 303-696-1971, Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line 720-819-5115. Doug texting, Disney destroyed Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Star Trek. Amazon destroyed Lord of the Rings. I agree entirely, Doug.
Yeah, I agree too. Disney did bad stuff with Star Wars. There's some things they've done that are decent, but most of them, yeah. Same thing with Indiana Jones and Star Trek. Yeah, absolutely. And the constant reboots and other stuff. Yeah, absolutely. But at least it lives on, and I'm happy with that. I'm okay with it.
All right, now it's time for the news.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Hey, good Monday morning. Welcome back. 33 and mostly clear as you return with Jeff and Billy. Expecting a high of 59 today. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story, Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro, who wasn't duly elected, is at a New York courthouse ahead of an appearance this afternoon. He's expected to be arraigned later on federal drug trafficking charges. Maduro was in handcuffs surrounded by agents as he was loaded into an armored vehicle to be transported to the courthouse earlier this morning. He was captured over the weekend.
Operating in the country since August, working with a human source inside Maduro's inner circle, according to a source with knowledge of the matter. The team working for months with stealth drones to build a picture of Maduro's everyday life, while the military used the intelligence to build an exact replica of Maduro's safe house to train on.
And 47 said the U.S. will now effectively run the nation for the time being.
So I got questions, Blake. What do you think, and Bill too, of Maduro kind of being in jovial spirits, wishing one of the guys Happy New Year as he walks by? What do you make? What do you make of that? And what do you make of the fact he's changed clothes like 18 times?
Yeah, I don't understand that one. I'm trying to follow that. But I mean, he's a drug lord. He's a dictator. I can't even begin to figure out what's in his mind. I've been listening to people talk about Hugo Chavez since I spent a lot of time in South Florida, and you talk to a lot of Venezuelans who are Americans, but family members in Venezuela, and it has been horrible for nearly 30 years. And
do you remember
tragic.
when Hugo Chavez took control? I remember. I have distinct memories because Bush was in office.
Absolutely.
I think.
Yeah.
And he was talking a lot like Mom Dami's talking now.
Yeah,
we're going to nationalize.
did a lot of singing,
everybody's going to have this money and everything's going to be great. And then the whole country collapses. I wonder. So there's two routes Maduro could go. One is he starts to sing like a canary and talk about Russia and China and Iran and all their influence and what they're doing in other Latin American countries and Cuba. And, maybe he gets cut a deal. The other route is the dude ends up at Supermax here in Colorado, right? Like
Absolutely.
Does Trump just see this as another way to goat Colorado and just go, no, you got to deal? Because I think we had the drug cartel guys here for a while. We've had some of the bad guys in Colorado for a bit.
Were they in Supermax or Canyon City, or where was it?
I think they were Supermax because Canyon City would be state.
Okay,
and I think
that's
Supermax
state.
is federal.
But there's not another one down there, is there? I thought there was another one, but I think we're going to see that. There are so many layers to this. It's not, it's not just oil, in my opinion. It's not just oil.
Dude, what if he ends up with less jail time than Tina Peters?
Oh, Lord. Don't even, you know what? I didn't even think about that.
Polis would commute. Polis would commute and get less time. Because Polis is a leftist. Because your ultimate jail time goes to your political prisoners.
Now, this is horrible, though. I mean, just there's so many angles that, you could take right, left. The conservatives, there are aspects of it, the constitutional angle, where conservatives are divided. But I mean, the bottom line is, this is one of the guys who's sending criminals, violent criminals to, our neighborhoods. And
do we have any proof of that? I mean, and what I'm talking about that
allowed
is
it to
the proof.
happen.
Well, hang on. No, what I'm talking about is the proof that Trump claims about them emptying jails and insane asylums and stuff. We have no concrete proof of that. Now, if we're talking about sending bad guys here based on drug cartels, I can get with you on that one. But the claim that Trump has made about them emptying jails, there's been no concrete proof of that. That seems to be just a claim that he has said.
Intelligence agency proof on that, but we'll have to wait to see.
But here's the idea, though. Trump started making that claim during the election campaign. He wouldn't have access to that intelligence at that point necessarily. So, again, this seems to be more of an invented claim than it is anything that has any concrete proof, because I would submit that if they were doing that, he would have provided the proof during his stand-up talkie talk on Saturday. He didn't. He just makes this usual claim about they're emptying this. They haven't seen anything. We haven't seen anything about that. So, again, I'd hesitate to say that's absolutely what Venezuela was doing. We have no proof of it.
Marvin, the meat handler, saying Maduro's always has a smile on his face because the whole operation is a payoff to him.
Ah, true. Yeah, that's a good.
But
point.
wouldn't he have fled to Russia?
Maybe he doesn't need
if you wanted a payoff and to live in a, what do they call their cabins? They call them something else in Russia, but live in a cabin somewhere. And
but again, he may not need to, because he could get not into Supermax, but he could get into a real squishy place like Ghislaine Maxwell. She is the largest human trafficker that we've ever convicted in the U.S., from my understanding, and yet she's in a minority security prison. Why don't we put him in it too?
Maxwell was the largest human trafficker?
I believe so. that we've ever convicted. I think so. She's up there. At least she's in the top 3 or 4 as far as numbers, and yet she's in minimum security. The other part is Maduro taking any sort of solace in what recently happened to the president of Honduras? That he was convicted by the Trump Department of Justice of trafficking 400 tons plus of cocaine and arms, not 400 tons of arms, but and arms, into the U.S., and he got a pardon. He didn't. He served a cup of coffee in jail. So Maduro's looking at this possibly based on what we've done recently.
I think
he may never spend.
He may never spend a month. I think
he may
he's
never
going to
spend a month in
sing
jail.
like a canary.
Yep,
that's why he's smiling.
Absolutely.
8422 texting in a classic move of all the places to take Maduro. They take him to the first city in the United States that's run by a dictator.
I was thinking that too. It's fun. Yeah, Commie Donnie is running NYC, and that's where they take him. Wow. Yeah, this is. I could have never predicted this 6 months ago. 8 months ago, whatever. This is just wild. It really is. One person is dead and 3 others wounded in a shooting in southeast Denver Saturday night near South Galena in East Hampton after a group of people who were actually celebrating the capture of Maduro. Then, after they were celebrating, the shooting happened. A 16-year-old boy died from his injuries near Iliff and South Havana. No arrests have been made.
It's a 3rd and 5. And Lance from the pocket gets picked off. Off the deflection. And here we go with the run back inside the 20. McMillan is in for the touchdown.
Jaquan McMillan, pick 6. And the defense led the Broncos to victory over the Chargers Sunday at Mile High and locked up the top seed in the AFC with a 19-3 victory. Bo Nix, 141 yards passing, no touchdowns, rush for a team-high 49 yards. That's probably what you don't want to see, but that's okay. I think they'll be all right when they go in 2 weeks against the winner of the Bills or the Jags. Both teams could be extremely dangerous, of course. Will Lutz hit all 4 of his field goals. And
the
head
little
coach,
guy, trot out the little guys. He gave you the victory yesterday.
You got your field goals, man. They made you happy, Jeff. Here's head coach Sean Payton.
2 home wins, and that's exciting. It's why you do all of it. It's why you work late hours. It's why the players train and lift, and it's a big deal.
And here's linebacker Nick Benito.
I think it was 8 and 9. You know, coach year, first European and playoffs last year. and to now being able to be the 1 seed, it just shows the toughness and just the will and ability to keep able to grow. I feel like it's been pretty special.
Doesn't matter how you do it. You're 14-3. You end the regular season at 14-3, and you end the season without a touchdown. It's pretty impressive. See what happens. Police activity reported overnight at VPJD's home in Cincinnati. Video from the scene showed windows apparently damaged in what may have been an act of vandalism or an attempted break-in. Local police say a suspect is in custody. All right, the Nuggets lose to the Nets 127-115. Avs fall to the Panthers 2-1 the final. Also in the NFL, the Patriots and the Jags, as we mentioned, top seed, the Jags along with the Patriots, I should say, and the Steelers beat the Ravens to win the AFC North and earn the 4th spot in the NFC. The Seahawks earned the top seed and a first-round bye, with the Bears and the Eagles and Panthers rounding out the division winners. We've got the FCS championship tonight, Montana State and Illinois State. So football continues tonight. 31 in Parker, 32 in Thornton, and 33 in Denver. You're waking up with Jeff and Bill, and they have returned. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Your 710 KNUS forecast this early Monday. A few clouds this morning, temperatures around 35 degrees by daybreak. Really nice this afternoon with sunshine, highs near 60. Clear tonight, lows in the lower 30s. A little bit cooler for Tuesday and Wednesday, highs in the mid-50s. Weather brought to you by L&L Heating and Air Conditioning. For quick, trustworthy, and dependable service, call L&L Heating and Air Conditioning at 720-851-1691. Visit them online at bestdenverhvac.com. That's bestdenverhvac.com. You'll be comfortable with L&L. I'm day weather meteorologist Patrice Sutter in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
So, shocking news to all of us as we woke up Saturday as the Trump, DEA, Army, everybody working together, flew in, grabbed Maduro in the middle of the night. He tried to get to the steel door. Did you see that? Tried to get there, couldn't get it shut. And Army Delta Rangers took out a whole bunch of Cuban security guys. Proves the point that Cuba had a lot of influence into Venezuela. Well, what do you think of all this? Do you appreciate what Trump's doing? Reestablishing American capitalist might in the Western Hemisphere. No more dancing around. No more just Democrats going, oh, gosh, Nicolas Maduro's a dictator. I sure wish somebody would do something about it. No, he went in, took care of it. Now, capitalism can benefit from all the resources that Venezuela has. It's going to bring back money to Venezuelan people, liberty to Venezuelan people. Gone is communism and socialism out of that state. Or is it going to continue? I mean, we've seen this in other countries where you have American interventionism, but because of the culture, they just go right back to their stupid ways. Look at Afghanistan. The minute we left, they kicked all the girls out of the schools again. Didn't want to have anything to do with Western democracy and those types of things. So, do you think that this was a good move, or do you think we're setting ourselves up for another boondoggle? Let's go to the phone lines. Give us a call, 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Capitalist Law text line, 720-819-5115. Let's go to Shane in Lakewood. Good morning, Shane. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Hey, Bill, unfortunately, you have this whole Trumpian philosophy twisted again.
Oh, good. Okay,
and
in
I'll
what way?
tell you why. I'm sorry?
Yeah, tell me why. In what way?
Okay, because if you look at American First, okay, America First, the whole idea is American interests first. If you look at his first term, he went into Iraq and took out ISIS, which is something Obama couldn't do. He went in.
Last time I checked, ISIS still exists, but continue.
No, they're gone.
No, they exist still. They're still existing.
Iraq,
the guy that is in charge. Hang on a sec. The guy Shane, the guy that is in charge of Syria is a former ISIS guy. Trump did not destroy ISIS.
No, he definitely did, Billy. You got to twist it again.
The guy in charge of Syria is an ISIS guy. But okay, sure. ISIS still exists around the world. We just had a threat. We had a threat in the last 12 months about ISIS. But okay, continue.
Hey, Bill, you are wrong. They got in there and they took the ISIS out. ISIS
that's not
was
true.
Dominating
just
Iraq,
continue.
and they no longer dominate Iraq.
I'm not. Listen.
Can I talk,
this
Bill?
This is irrelevant at this point.
Hey, can I have a word here?
Shane, stop.
Your logic is being shown that
Shane, let's agree to disagree about ISIS. It still exists. You disagree. That's fine. Continue with your point.
Okay, so my point is this. You have seen that Iraq was erased from ISIS. Okay, ISIS was doing terrible things to human beings in Iraq. Trump went in there, cleared house. Okay, Obama could never do that because he didn't have the guts. Now, Trump sees how Maduro was sending gangs of narcotic traffickers and human traffickers in the United States. We saw this in Aurora. We would see it on the streets when you park and you'd have people come out, harass women to wash their windows. That was going on all over Denver. You saw it, Bill. And now Trump went in and took care of business in Venezuela because that's American interest. Okay? He is going to make it a better life for the people in Venezuela. And also, we're going to get some benefits through the oil and other economic ties with Venezuela now. And we're going to eliminate China and Russia from having their tentacles in Venezuela. That doesn't mean he's going to go around the world and take over, but he will find certain spots that are American interest, if need be, and if they're committing human atrocities, he will go in, just like he did with Nigeria, the massacring of Christians that the leftist media never talks about. He went in there and took care of business, and he'll keep doing that because in the end, he's about law and order, and he's about America first and American interests first. And when it comes, you brought up the tariffs bill, okay? We were taking advantage in America for many decades over us being tariffs used against us.
Taking advantage of Shane. Taking advantage of Shane. What do you mean by taking advantage of us? Because we had tariffs in place too on goods coming into this country. Trump didn't invent this. It's not like we had zero tariffs beforehand. So what do you mean by that? Taking advantage of?
Okay, worldwide. Okay, let's just look at Canada. Canada put massive tariffs on anything we would send over to Canada, and yet when Canada sent their materials back here, we put very little tariffs on their goods.
That's not necessarily true. There were some caps. There were some caps on things, Shane. That's not necessarily true. No, Shane, you're mischaracterizing how these things existed. Tariffs were mutual around the world.
Okay. Here's the comparison, okay? It's about percentage-wise.
Okay, good.
Percentage-wise, how much our goods were tariffed from other countries compared to how much tariffs we would put on their goods. Very little tariffs we would put on theirs, and they would put high tariffs on ours.
Why is that?
That hurt the American working people, Bill, okay? And so now we're equaling the field, which is going to help the American working people, the blue-collar people out there. It's eventually going to help us out.
Okay, so Shane, you just got a long thing about tariffs. Now let's talk about that. No, Shane, we are seeing the jobs are anemic at this point. We are not seeing wage growth, and we are seeing inflation crush people that are those blue-collar workers. We're not seeing this manufacture.
Inflation is going down, Bill. Inflation is going down.
No, Shane,
standard of living is going up because you know what? The interest rates are going down. So actually, blue-collar people are going to have a better chance to buy homes now. My kids
that's not what's happening,
down the road are going to have a better chance to buy homes.
Shane, hang on. That's not Shane. Down. That is not what's happening, and none of that is accomplished through removing Maduro.
Market, Bill?
None of that is accomplished.
The housing prices are going down, Bill.
Shane,
your leftist philosophy is being destroyed in front of your eyes, and the best you can do is cry about Maduro. But you know what? Maduro.
Shane, stop right there. Have I once cried about Maduro this morning? Shane, have I once cried about Maduro being removed this morning? Have I once said this is a horrible, naughty, horrible thing? We should not have done this. Have I once this morning expressed support for Maduro and his administration?
Bill, why do you...
Okay, you're not going to answer the question. If we're not going to do this and we can go back and forth and have questions, Shane, because before you were mad that I was not letting you finish your statement and I asked you a question and made you answer it. Now I'm asking you questions and you're not responding. We're going to try this one more time, and if not, we're going to move on to the next line that I'm going to have to talk to in a sec. Okay. So, now, is this being accomplished through the removal of Maduro? Have I sat here and have I supported Maduro at all this morning, Shane? Have I at all?
Yes.
Nope, that's not true. I have not. I have not shown a single bit of support for Maduro and his administration.
You are doing it indirectly, Bill.
Oh, okay. Please explain that to me. How?
The removal of Maduro from Venezuela, and therefore you do support Maduro staying in power in Venezuela.
Good. Okay, let's do that then. Okay. Let's say, since you think this is a great idea, Shane, are you then in favor of Putin making the same case about Ukraine and Xi making the same case about Taiwan? Because the cases that you made about our need to remove Maduro are exactly the same cases that both Putin and Xi are making. Are they correct?
Okay, do you want me to answer your question? Yes.
They are correct.
Care about
so
Ukraine.
you think Putin should have it? Wait, Shane, hang on. We are going to explore this for a second. This is a give and a take. You said yes. You believe that Putin and Xi are right. So should we give Ukraine and the rest of that European bloc back to Russia, let them have it, and should we give Taiwan to China?
Okay. Ukraine is not in the American interest. I don't care about Ukraine. I do care about Venezuela because I see them on the corner harassing
Excuse
women.
me, Shane.
And,
hang on. Shane, you do not get to denigrate a U.S. ally and say you don't care about them. Shane, in the mid-'90s,
I don't care about Ukraine. I care about our interest, Bill.
Shane, we signed an agreement with Ukraine in the mid-'90s that we would protect their sovereignty as an ally. We have not held up to that bargain.
Okay, the 90s, was that Clinton that signed that?
It is the U.S. that is the signature to that.
Was Clinton in power when that was signed?
Hey, guess what, Shane? Shane, you're not going to play a semantic game over which president. Shane, you want to laugh? You're gone. I'm sorry. You're playing a semantic game saying that because this president took this action, I don't have to support it. That's going to allow all the Democrats that listen to the show to say, I don't have to acknowledge anything that Trump did because he's not the president I support. You're playing this game. You played this game, Shane, that you're perfectly fine with Putin invading Ukraine and taking Ukraine. You're perfectly fine with Xi invading Taiwan and taking Taiwan. Understand the side you're on when you are saying this is a great move and this is powerful moves by President Trump and this is defending our territory.
I don't
understand what side you're on. You're on Putin and Xi's side.
But I don't understand that. Why? Because
What do you mean?
We're advocating in seizing our best interests, we have to therefore somehow allow China and Russia to do the same?
Putin says that seizing Ukraine is in their best interest, and China says that seizing Taiwan is in their best interest.
I don't care.
But if our justification is based on our best interest, why is our best interest the only one that matters? Isn't that just being selfish and myopic?
Yes, because America's the best country, and I want America's interests advanced.
Yeah,
I do not want Chinese interests advanced. I don't want Russian interests advanced.
Yeah, but Xi turns around and says, but China's the best country, and I don't care about anybody's interest.
He's wrong.
Putin turns around and says, Russia's the best country, and I don't care about anybody else's interest. So all I'm saying is, this is all I'm saying. We are making the same argument. So when we're spouting this, we sound exactly like Putin. No, we're exactly the same.
No,
we're exactly like
we're
Putin,
not
exactly
the
like Xi.
Same.
We're saying the same stuff.
We're
saying the same
absolutely
stuff.
better. We are the wonderful, beautiful light of capitalism and freedom in this world. And we have the right to advance our interests, and the world is a better place because of it. All right, join the conversation. 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line, 720-819-5115. How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I could achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You'll feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced team, there's no one I trust more in hair restoration. Their simple FUE treatment begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day, and your new hair is backed by the Advanced Hair Guarantee. Simply put, Advanced Hair's exceptional standard of care makes your comfort and your results their top priority. Celebrate this new year with a full head of hair and get a free consultation. $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Call 720-459-HAIR. That's 720-459-HAIR. Discover what meeting your resolution could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com. Advancedhair.com. All right. The phone line's hot. The text message is hot. This is exactly why we love the Jeff and Bill Show. We want to hear from you. What do you think of what Trump did in Venezuela? Here's the phone line to call, 303-696-1971. Here's the text line, 720-819-5115.
Also, point of information for Shane, just to clear this up. Our very own Department of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard and the like, say that ISIS still remains a global enterprise in 2025 and 2026, with thousands of members globally, including in Iraq and Syria. So, despite your claims, Shane, the actual Trump administration says they still exist. You don't have to get mad at me. Get mad at them. Just saying.
All right, we'll continue. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill show. Is my mic on? Can you hear me? Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill show. Text messages hot as we debate Trump's actions in Venezuela. Bill, you got to let your caller speak, says 8422.
I did.
Jay from Louisville saying, I'm just a stooge. Mountain Peak Air, we told Russia we wouldn't advance NATO.
But we did also sign an agreement with Ukraine to protect their sovereignty in the mid-90s. And that is the U.S. I mean, the idea what Shane was doing, where he's like, well, if another president signed it, we can just ignore all those treaties. Really? That's not American foreign policy. We're not advocating for that. Are we today on the Jeff and Bill show? That when one president leaves, another one comes in, everything the previous president did is invalid in the name of the United States of America? That's just stupid.
Pretty much what Mondami is doing in New York City already.
He's not, again, not president. That's not the same thing. We're talking about, the foreign policy and other things as far as the United States.
I can't find the text message, but it was a good one. How about regime change in California and Minnesota? That's a good one. All right, what do you think of what Trump did in Venezuela? Are we now into a whole new Iraqi boondoggle? Or was this a great moment of liberty and securing America's interests in the Western Hemisphere? Let's go to the phone lines. Lynn in Evergreen. Good morning, Lynn. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Good morning, Jeff and Billy. Welcome back. Hope you had a great holiday.
Happy New Year to you.
Oh, Happy New Year, totally. Okay, give me 1 minute to outline the genius of this. What happened? Okay, four-pronged approach. Number one, take out the biggest drug cartel in our Western Hemisphere. That's number one. Number two, Trump negotiates first. He tried to, but if negotiations don't work, he drops the hammer. I mean, I warned you. I tried to negotiate, but you weren't there. So, okay. Number three, stabilize the Western Hemisphere. I mean, we've got major forces against us, right below our border. Okay, so stabilize it. Take out the bad seeds, the evils, and number four, peace through strength. I mean, my gosh, what a maneuver. Unbelievable.
Lynn, I agree with you on a lot of it. Here's my concern, okay? And my concern's rooted in the voters of Denver, actually, is that oftentimes it's the culture and the people that are the problem. Like what we have here in Colorado, for instance, is a people problem.
Who let all these people in?
Well, sort of. Like, look, Lynn, I go talk to Democrats more than any other Republican in Colorado. They call into the show. I go down to the rallies. This state is a deep blue state. I think Colorado is the most progressive state out there, in part because the voters are just progressive socialists.
And they all came from California, which is
but Lynn,
down
here's my
right
point
now.
about Venezuela. I appreciate what Trump did. I love that the resources are coming back. I love the fact that he got them without losing any American lives, that yes, the oil and the gold is now going to benefit us.
Genius.
But what about the people? If the culture is so made up of socialists in Venezuela, they're just going to go right back to another socialist
But we don't
leader.
know that. We don't know that.
But they put Hugo Chavez into power.
They have been trying to escape that dictatorship for decades. But it was ruled by the drug cartels. I mean, powerful forces, kind of like what we're seeing in Colorado now and around the nation. I mean, socialism, drug cartels, they all came in over an open border. Now it's closed, and boy, let's get them out of here.
I hope that's the case. My concern, though, is like what we saw in Afghanistan and Iraq, is that you put a lot of resources in.
Was a war
the minute you leave, they go right back to being stupid.
No, we didn't have the right people in power to go in and win it. They went in there, and then they invested in, the military-industrial complex.
I got a question for you on that one.
What?
Putting the right people in power. Maduro's entire command and control structure still in power in Venezuela? Are
Well,
those
you
the
know
right
what?
people?
Okay, here's what I'm going to say, short and simple. We'll see what happens next. This is not going to be a nationalized Venezuela. It's going to be, we will help you, just like Iran. The people are rising up in Iran now again because, well, I could go back in history, but I'm telling you, I mean, there is something happening where people are saying, we want to be free. We want to have liberty.
Hang on, Lynn, there weren't any uprisings in Venezuela currently like we are seeing in Iran.
I know, because
Lynn, hang on a sec.
Maduro
Lynn, if you
was
want to
in
make
power.
Lynn,
they couldn't do it.
Hang on a sec. Lynn, I would argue that the Iran dictatorship is much more punitive than what you get in Venezuela. Much more punitive. And I can go back to the Arab Spring.
I don't agree with that.
Okay, I don't
agree with that.
Okay, I would go back to the Arab Spring, and I would point to people that were picked up and executed for protesting. Peaceful protests on the street, and they were executed. You have
And
to show
that's
me.
exactly
you
what's
have to show me.
happening now.
You have to show me that
But
Maduro is doing that. Hang on a sec.
Obama, when they rose up,
hang on, wait,
he
Lynn,
wasn't there.
Lynn, stop telling me about Obama and everything else. I'm talking about what exists right now. You were the one that brought up the idea of Iran versus Venezuela, and that the people in Iran are rising up and protesting. We did not have that in Venezuela. What I'm going towards is asking you, if that is your line that you're looking at as far as enthusiasm, are you advocating that instead of going to Venezuela, we should have gone into Iran, or should we now go into Iran?
We already went into Iran.
No, we bombed a nuclear facility. We didn't go in and room with the dictators.
Boom. But the people are
That's
still...
not the same thing. Lynn, that's not the same thing. Bombing a location where they
I
make
know,
nuclear weapons
I know. You
isn't
want
the
to
same
argue
as...
with me,
No,
but
Lynn,
I'm saying...
I do, because, Lynn, bombing a nuclear facility isn't the same thing as taking the leader of the country. Those are different. We can agree on that at least. At 7:43 in the morning on a Monday, we can agree those are different.
He was an unelected leader.
But they're
he took
different,
power
right?
because he was a drug lord.
Are they
a cartel.
different? Are they different
guys,
or
and
the same?
here's my concern.
That's the point,
there
Lynn.
are two cultures out there that are radically stupid, that no matter how much regime change you do, they just fall right back into the same traps they've always been in. One is an Islamic culture, and two is a communist culture.
And that's why I say, guys, both of you, let's wait and see what happens next. But I'm telling you, Trump is a genius. He's a genius. And our military is the most powerful military on the planet. And he executed this mission with perfection, other than one injury.
That was amazing. Lynn, I appreciate the call. Thanks so much. Lynn from Evergreen. Her
incredible.
line is open, 303-696-1971. Go ahead, Bill.
It's incredible for me to hear the change, and I see it in the Democrat side of things where, their opinions on Maduro, but it's incredible for me to see the change in the wars of expansion and colonization that all of a sudden MAGA is getting behind. This was the bane of our existence, were all these external things that we were doing in other countries. We need to take care of America. And now I get supporters of President Trump calling up to the Jeff and Bill show saying those wars of expansion, taking and deposing leaders of other countries, is in America's best interest. This is an incredible change inside of 12 months that we've heard from MAGA.
I will agree with you that it is a change.
180
I
degrees
think
away.
Trump justifies it by being American first, and he's not necessarily wrong with that. But I also think he's gotten into power and looked at Latin and South America and the impact they're having on America and going, these are rink-a-dink little countries influenced by China and Russia. Why can't we just influence them? And now he's taking the steps to do that.
Part of the problem is in international law, drug trafficking and bringing drugs into a country isn't justification for taking leaders or an invasion. There are other things that have to happen, and you haven't crossed that bar yet. But,
All right, Joel, Denver, you're going to be up next. Then we'll get to Chad. Guys, stick around. Phone lines jam-packed. Text messages super hot. Suzanne texting in, Cuba's next. How much fun. Think about all these great resorts we could have. We could have Trump Havana. We could have Trump Gaza. All these great resorts and hotels. It is the Trump impact. What do you think of it? We'll continue. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
this is Denver's Talk Leader News Talk 710 KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Billy, we could see resorts coming soon. Trump Caracas, Trump Havana, Trump Bogota, Trump Gaza, Trump Nuuk. That's the major city in Greenland.
Yeah.
Trump Tehran. Build, baby, build. Trump resorts everywhere.
This is the weird part, is that we were so worried about President Biden and his family enriching themselves through business deals around the world. And now we're going, look at Trump family building resorts all over the world.
My guy this time.
I
Bill,
know.
it's my guy.
Yeah, our morals and ethics are transitive. Yes, that is the lesson this morning.
Let's go to the phone lines. Joel in Denver. Good morning, Joel. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Morning.
I just wanted to say that I don't think it's necessarily in America's best interest. I mean, it encompasses it, but that word, it should be more like it's in America's, need for survival, because we don't need Spetsnaz, running in our backyard. I mean, we don't have that. China doesn't have issues like that with Tokyo. They don't have, we don't need missiles in Venezuela.
But they claim Taiwan, Joel. They claim
escalate.
China claims Taiwan as their property. So are they right? Do we give them Taiwan? They say they need it for security. They say it's important for their security, for their safety and security, and their interest in their hemisphere.
Everybody likes to say a lot of lies, and they take so much information from us in Tokyo, like with TikTok and all that. I mean, I'm sure everybody's information. I'm sure they have it all. It's all a bunch of lies. Everybody says, whatever they want, and but what it comes down to is we're being attacked in so many different ways here in America. Whereas, like, if you look at Russia, how many people have been sent from Ukraine to Russia, screwing up their country, or Tokyo
Millions.
to China? And I know Tokyo is a different thing, but
well, Joel, I got to question
much
this. I got a question. You're saying this idea of Venezuela somehow sending people or disrupting America, yet you're saying that people will say whatever they can and we can't believe any of the media. Could you possibly then be believing lies? I mean, given the fact that you discounted all other information early on.
I'm living the shit. I'm living it.
Okay. This is a weird thing with the names. I appreciate that, Joel, but you said the word. We can't do that. But again, that's a question that I have.
Two dumps today on our
that is
first day back.
fantastic.
I told
love
you we
guys.
might not make it to Tuesday.
This is wonderful. But that's the question that I have, that if we are assuming that this is good, righteous, and powerful, does it then give voice to what Putin and Xi are claiming?
No.
Okay, because we just don't like them. It's not the idea their actions are
because
actually
they're
righteous.
wrong.
It's because we're doing them.
No,
But
because their
Putin and
countries
Xi claim,
are bad. Our countries are good.
Yeah, but Putin and Xi claim the same things.
So
So
they're
again,
wrong.
it's just a matter of where you're standing. It's not the actual moral or ethics.
No,
it's
not,
just where you stand.
What, are you kidding? No, America is much better than China or Russia. We
Not
have more
according to-
freedoms.
not according to Russia
We
or
have
China.
more constitutionally protected rights. We're a Judeo-Christian nation. We're a good nation. They're bad nations.
No. Putin says that they are more of a Christian nation than we are.
No,
so they're
I've been
obviously
there.
more
They're
Christian.
not.
No, but he says it, so it's got to be true, right? Because it's when Trump says it, it's true. That's the thing, guys, is be careful. When you start sitting here and saying because Trump did this and it's righteous, understand the same arguments are being made by Putin and being made by Xi. So be careful
But just because
what
they're
foreign
making an
policy you're
argument
stepping
doesn't
in.
make it correct. We are...
From your lips to God's ears. Just because you make the argument doesn't mean it's correct. That
Yes.
includes President Trump. Yep, exactly.
Oh, my
Exactly.
gosh. You don't see any distinction between the United States, Russia, and China?
I see distinctions in the countries. I see no distinctions in the justification of these actions. I think the
but we're-
justifications for the actions are the
We're
are the same.
distinctly different countries. So just because the actions are the same doesn't mean that they are equally justified.
It doesn't mean that any of them are justified. That's the question here.
But
That's the
I
thing.
mean, you seem to think that Venezuela was just this kind of like independent country.
Nope, not at all. No, never said that. Never held that this morning. No,
But
never
you
said
just
that.
but
No.
if Russia and China are influencing it and
Yeah.
controlling it and benefiting
Well,
from its
influencing
resources,
it, I know, but we have that relationship with other people around the world as well. Other countries. We get other countries like Russia and China could make the same claims about the U.S.
well, of course they could. But is it beneficial? Is
Well, to
it
them,
good
sure.
for the world?
Yeah, according to Russia and China, from their point of view, yeah. It's beneficial for Russia to have Ukraine. It is beneficial for China to have Taiwan. It is beneficial for them. All the arguments that Trump is making.
But is it good for the world?
According to Russia and China, yes.
No, objectively, is it good for the world?
I don't think so, but I'm not in charge
I think
of the
you
world.
can objectively say, no, it's not good for the world for Ukraine or for Russia to influence Ukraine and for China to influence
Influence? No, they were not influence.
Taiwan.
They
Take them over. Yeah,
They wanna
I
take
think it
them
would be
over.
bad. But
Yeah,
I think you could objectively say it's better for the world for the United States to have more significant control in Venezuela.
Yeah, no, I would not agree in that.
You don't think so?
No, because I am not a huge fan of colonialism. That's basically it. Not a huge fan. I'm familiar with the banana wars. I do not like colonialism in and of itself. I don't, and I disagree with that. And that's what I see in what we're doing.
Worldview, and I think in that worldview, you assume that these countries are going to run themselves, and that doesn't happen. The big countries always have the most influence. So it's either going to be Russia, China, or us. Might as well be us. All right, Chad, we'll get to you next. Sorry, Billy and I got into the debate.
So
I don't want to make
Chad.
sure you have enough time.
We'll get back to you.
You'll be at the top of the hour. Stick around
fault.
just a few minutes. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
Totally my fault, Chad. Okay, we'll be right back. This is 710 KNUS. My fault.